Hey everyone, welcome to another spooky season Weird Bit brought to you by Dean.
And also Carrie.
Well, yeah, that is my name.
Yeah.
I just assume everybody knows us by now.
You never know. Never know. Might be starting off here in Hollow Weird World 2023.
Yeah. What are you going to talk about?
I'm going to talk about something quick that's going to set up what? It's going to set up your full episode that's going to be up next.
Okay.
What I'm going to talk about is some. I guess it's spooky in the sense. Are skeletons spooky? Skeletons are a classic Halloween.
Well, skeletons are very spooky.
I think so too. So we're going to talk about some bones in very public places that are actually real human skeletons, with the most famous one being one of the most famous places on Earth. But I'll start with a couple of little scene setters. How's
Okay.
that?
I have a question first.
Yes.
Can you buy a real skeleton nowadays?
Yes, kind of.
Are you going to cover this in this
Yes,
episode?
I actually
okay.
do have something at the end
Okay.
here that
Okay.
I'll talk about that. First, we'll start, though, in London, England, a place called the London Dungeon. Have you ever heard of the London Dungeon?
No.
Have
Is
you
it an
heard? It's not a
S&M
sex club.
Oh.
You know what? Seriously, it's a great name for an S&M
Yeah.
club. It's actually that, and there probably is an S&M club as well called the London Dungeon. But this is a family-friendly major tourist attraction in the heart of London. I've never heard of it either.
Well.
We've never been to London, but still, I've heard of the Millennium Wheel and Madame Tussauds and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this. And this is a big thing. It's a completely immersive experience, quote unquote, from something I read, that where you go down and you have these like 10 or 12, like it's Jack the Ripper and Torture Chamber and, different little scenes from old timey London life.
Yeah.
And
I can see how this would be extremely popular, especially today.
yes, but it's not just like animatronics and dolls and stuff like that. It's actual live actors playing the role and doing things, and then also puppets and things like, not puppets, that's not the right word, but you know what I mean, animatronic kind of things. I don't know if they move.
Puppet Jack the Ripper would be kind of cool.
Puppet Jack the Ripper would be pretty fucking awesome, I'm not gonna lie. But it's got a curse, it's like a witch thing, a torture chamber, a room that, like the Great Fire of London, a Sweeney Todd barber shop room, a Mitre Square, which is one of the places where Jack the Ripper killed somebody. So pretty cool. I actually kind of want to go there if we ever go to London. It sounds right up our alley, doesn't it?
We'll have to put it on our list.
In this attraction, as you're walking through, it turns out there are at least one, if not two, real human skeletons in residence. There's a partial human skeleton. Here's the annoying thing: I won't say the name of the website because they did a terrible job, because they never say in which of the 10 rooms this skeleton is. Super annoying. Turns out they thought it was fake all along. They tested it, and it turns out it's a real human rib cage and fragments of the backbone. And they think it could date back maybe hundreds of years to when they did. Although it says like hundreds of years when they did body snatching. I'm thinking, no.
Yeah.
That's well into the 19th century. You don't need to go back that far when they're still doing body snatching. So that's one of those places. And I guess right now, here's to speak to one of your questions, at least in English law, is that you do have to get a special license from the Tissues Authority. Yes. A government agency that says you can actually have real human tissue.
Well, because it's probably mostly for like medical, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's
Human
not cheap.
tissues,
It's like up to 2,000 pounds to get a license to possess tissue.
Oh, wow.
And so it's not clear whether this theme park, or that's when you this attraction, has actually paid it or not.
Right.
It's not clear if they really do have their license or not. I guess they're being coy. I don't know. Or at least this website didn't look it up. Another place is in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where there's the Carnegie Museum of Natural History, where there is a diorama of, I guess, from maybe the 19th century, because Barbary lions have been extinct for quite some time, for at least 100 or more than 100 years. Barbary lions were the only lions north of the Sahara Desert in what's now like Morocco, Algeria area, and they had a diorama in this Natural History Museum in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and it showed a person on a camel, and the camel and the person would be attacked by 3 Barbary lions. And everybody, this again, sort of thought that, well, it's just a dummy. So, but they checked under, did a scan on it, and that the skull is real. And I guess they built like fake head around a real skull.
You mean of the person?
They got a body, and they got a skull. Yeah, the person on the camelback. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the person is a real human skull that they thought was just a model.
Yeah.
I guess they sort of modeled around the skull. And again, it seems like these things were always lost to history. So like people who ran that place said, well, we had no idea. Maybe they did.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't. But same thing. It was probably purchased at a time when that was simple. It was not a big deal to purchase human remains. Sadly, almost always, as long as they weren't white. If they were Chinese or from Africa or something like that, it was much easier. In fact, as recently as, remember, what was that traveling show? Bodies,
was
which
that what it was called?
Yeah, and those were all Chinese political prisoners in all likelihood.
Well, no, they said, I
Sure
I think their claim is that they're people who who donated their bodies.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway.
I don't know either.
And the last one I have is from London's Student Centre at University College, London University College, where the body, or most of the body, of famous philosopher Jeremy Bentham is still on display. He was a utilitarian philosopher of I think the 1800s. He died in 1832, and he left his body to science. He was way ahead of his time. He said, do whatever you want with it, but once you're through with it, please put my body, sort of mummify it, and put it up for display. I want you to,
okay.
Fully clothed. Don't get dirty.
Don't be gross.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so it still is to this day. The head, though, got so shriveled and so that they took it off and they put a fake head in its place. But they still have the mummified head. We'll show you a picture of it. I'm showing you, Carrie, right now.
Oh,
That's
nice.
Jeremy Bentham's very brown, tanned looking head.
I'm assuming those are glass eyes.
Yes. I'm sure the eyes are long gone. Hopefully they accurately portrayed his actual eyes. They're kind of gray.
Yeah.
And so sometimes, though, they'll put the head on like a round, you can see us on some kind of a round little plate of some sort, and they'll put that between his legs of the actual body on display in the London University College. So that's Jeremy Bentham.
Yeah, that's a little bit too much, I think.
He wanted it, and they're
I guess.
let him have it. They let him have his way, Carrie. He was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Now we're going to go with the most controversial and probably most famous, maybe the most famous instance of real human skeletons being displayed for public purposes. Where do we go? What do you think we're going to go? I set up front as one of the most famous places in the world. Did I already say that I already give away? I may have.
Did you?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Did I?
I don't think so, because I don't know.
We are going to go to Anaheim, California, in Orange County, where they have...
We know nothing of Anaheim.
Shut the hell. Disneyland. Disneyland, as you know, opened in 1955. It was immensely popular.
Yes.
But Walt and the folks who ran Disneyland were always looking to try to get it better and better and keep the crowds flowing, right?
Yeah.
So they hit on this idea of let's do something with pirates. And the idea for Pirates of the Caribbean, what would become Pirates of the Caribbean, was born. At first, they were thinking something like a walkthrough, like a wax museum kind of, where you walk through it and go from room to room. So imagine the Pirates of the Caribbean, but instead of being on a boat, I don't know, for those of you who are not familiar with Pirates of the Caribbean, you get in a little boat, you go through, it's nice and cool, smells good. And especially on a hot day, it's like, let's just keep on going to Pirates, just keep on going back. And you see different scenes of pirates, burning ships and things like that, right?
Trying to rape women. It's great.
Oh, God. There's lots of sexual assault.
They have since changed that scene.
They have. I'm going to actually talk about that in a minute. So the idea was going to be a walkthrough at first. There were some walkthrough exhibits that were very popular, but they're worried about, people can just dawdle. And let's be honest, all theme parks and Disney was ahead of its time. It's like get people through, get them out, get the next group through.
Yeah.
They're all about moving people.
Yeah.
So in 1964, they debuted their animatronics at the World's Fair. Disney did in 1964 with something called the Carousel of Progress, and also Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, where Lincoln was an animatronic robot. In some episodes, I think it was The Simpsons, where he attacked people and murdered them, I believe. And that was very, very popular. That's what they moved you.
That was very
It was very popular in 64. Well, why is it still?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln.
Is that still
I'm
around?
talking
That's
about.
long gone. I'm sure. I bet.
I don't know if it's long gone, but it was there for all of my childhood.
Sure.
And
That's a long time ago. Okay.
Every now, well, not long ago, but every now and then we would go in, as a lark. Like, what's this weird thing? Because it wasn't like one of the normal, regular things you do. I mean, we used to go to Disneyland a lot.
Yes, you did.
So, you just skip right past it.
Yeah, but it was.
We literally skipped.
Skip.
Down Main
I
Street.
would love to
Fast.
see you skip. No. And then, of course, they debuted It's a Small World, which also, I didn't know this, also debuted at the World's Fair.
Wow, I didn't know
in
that
64,
either.
I know. And that really said, okay, there you do get into a craft. Are you on a boat? It is a boat, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, you get into a boat, and it moves you past the rooms, and you go from room to the next. So they completely control how long you're in there, and they get you through. And that's where Walt Disney said, okay, we got to do that. So let's switch Pirates of the Caribbean to be on a boat. We'll control them. They'll go from part to part of our attraction. So they said, okay, we got it. Now they started planning, going to have all kinds of pirate things. So Pirates of the Caribbean was planned for a couple of years. It finally opened on March 18th, 1967, not long before Walt Disney died of lung cancer from smoking. And it was the last attraction at Disneyland that he personally had some oversight of. Yeah.
Wow.
And had a lot of input of. The whole thing cost about $15 million at the time.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
It was more than the entire park cost them in 1955 when they opened it. So all of original Disneyland didn't cost quite as much as to build Pirates of the Caribbean in 1960 and open in
After
1967.
only like 10 years.
I know. It was extremely expensive. It was considered kind of a little bit risky. That would be about $140 million today. Now, I don't know if it's still I don't know what stuff costs now to build a roller coaster and things like that, but it was a big gamble. It proved, of course, immensely popular.
Yeah.
In the French Quarter, I think, right?
Uh-huh.
With Haunted House. I think.
Haunted
Isn't Haunted House?
Mansion.
Haunted Mansion is near, right?
Yeah.
So the key was they wanted this thing to be super realistic. Walt Disney is always very, very important to him to be as realistic as possible. So they wanted, fire that looked kind of real, although, let's be honest, it doesn't look that real.
No.
They wanted remember those stone forts, in the fort? That looks really good. The boats look really good. They had cannons. They even had cannons, going off in the water around you.
They do a really good job at that part of it when
Yes.
you're going through that to make it look like you are in a big...
A battle.
And in a big like in a
Yes,
big
you're right.
outdoor
You're
like
right.
I don't know,
You're like at a fort on New
So,
Orleans
yeah.
with the pirate ships attacking the fort, and it's the ocean, and of
Yeah.
course I'm sure in real life it's very small.
Yes, they do a very good job
Yeah, they do.
of camouflaging and making things look
Or as our
real.
friend Krista would say, sabotage. Because,
yes, of course.
the mangy dog with the keys in his mouth is really good. It looks like a really good dog. Of course, they have pretty realistic pirates and prostitutes and women being chased by pirates for hilarious sexual assault, clearly implied.
Yes.
It's good family fun, is what it is. I'll comment on that in a minute too. It was worse. Anyway, the key is this: the technology at the time to make real-looking rubber human skeletons was just not good. And so they tried to make these human skeletons, and Walt's and company are going, this doesn't look good. It doesn't look right.
That's amazing.
I know. I know. You think they would have been able to.
You think it wouldn't be that hard.
Conspiracy theory, I've not read this anywhere, but that's fairly expensive. You know what was actually pretty cheap at the time? Human skeletons. Human skeletons aren't expensive to buy, even in 1967. So they went to, I'm not proud to say this, UCLA.
Oh.
And UCLA had a fair number of human skeletons.
That they were done with?
They sold them. Secondhand skeleton wanted, we got a bunch. Do you guys want some? We'll give you $50 each. I don't know how much it was, but I'll bet you it was a lot cheaper than devising and building real looking. And of course, what lasts a long time? Bones. What maybe wouldn't have lasted a long time?
Plastic?
Yeah.
Or-
So
or-
I mean, or at least
Probably
and
not
maybe
even plastic, like plaster of Paris. Or
I don't know
something
what.
like
Yeah,
that.
I don't know what the alternatives were, but they found it. The story is it didn't look realistic enough. I wonder if there was also a cost factor. Then again, they were spending 140 million of today's dollars on it, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's again. The official story is didn't look real enough. Let's go get some real skeletons. Hey, UCLA has some, so they brought them in. And so for years and years, kids are squealing with delight at real human skeletons on. Remember, there's one on the island where there's treasure chests, like they are burying the treasure chest. One has a sword stuck through it and he's stuck to the rock behind him. There's way more skeletons than I realized.
Yeah.
There's another one. There's a skeleton who's behind the helm of one of the pirate ships. There's one who's
with the wind blowing his tattered
his
outfit,
hair left. And his outfit. There's a skeleton, of course, in bed with like a little sleeping cap on. And he's gazing into a magnifying glass. I presume he's looking at one of his jewels because he's surrounded by jewels. Remember, on this huge bedroom, this huge bed.
Yeah.
There's that's a regular bed, and he's got a skull and crossbones behind him. The one I'm thinking of is like a kind of like a pirate king, where that's the huge room, big bed, and he's surrounded by treasure chests and jewels. And he's also a skeleton now, and he's kind of this luxurious bedroom.
Yep.
All of those skeletons were the real remains of human beings, and again, super, super family friendly. Over time, though, the ability to make fake skeletons, the technology, it got better. A new generation of Imagineers replaced the real ones. Just over time, they started replacing.
I wonder why.
The real because I know that's a good question. I don't think it was due to controversy. It's just like
no, I literally have never heard this. And spoiler alert, not a spoiler alert. I grew up in Anaheim.
You did.
I've probably seen those real skeletons 100 times.
Yeah, you probably have. So not anymore these days because it costs $2,000 a piece to go into Disneyland because it's insane. So they said there may have been some sensitivity because according to the official story, as they replaced these skeletons with fake skeletons, they returned these skeletons to their countries of origin and given a proper burial.
How did they know where they came from?
I guess UCLA had records. Okay, no, the guy with the magnifying glass, he was from Beijing. The guy with the, I don't know.
I'm calling that
I am too.
as
I think that's
true.
Almost certainly bullshit. So that story
I'm
probably
that PR.
That was PR. I don't know when it was probably somewhat controversial, even though it wasn't widely known.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we need to do this before. Let's get ahead of this.
Yes.
And so then we'll say we send him back to the country of origin for proper burial. So come on, man.
In actuality, we put him in the dumpster and back at Tomorrowland.
They probably just let people take him home. There are probably we may know someone who has literally a skeleton in their closet.
What year did it say?
I don't know.
Year
Nothing I read can say when they started. It's just over time. So presumably it was not for quite a while. I don't know. If I had to guess, I'd say probably in the 80s or something like that.
Yeah.
Or even into the 90s. I don't know. As of now, Disneyland says, nope, no more skeletons. They've all been taken care of.
Yeah.
Have they? Are there really no more skeletons? There are very, very common rumors that there are skeletons in existence in Disneyland. One thing said, oh, well, there are people who do these kind of VIP behind-the-scenes tours, and it's like all these people come back and say, no, we were told that there aren't any skeletons. Well, no shit.
Of course. Were there skeletons in Haunted Mansion?
I don't know. Nothing I've read now. It was all in the Pirates of the Caribbean. Actually, no, because those were kind of cartoony.
I know. I'm trying to think, are there any like actual
I don't know.
skeletons?
There's those creatures that come up behind you and scream from behind the gravestone. And when it was darker, they were scary. Now that it's way too light, they're not nearly as scary.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. Everything's kind of
don't think there
projected
were.
too. So.
Yeah. And the things that were real were much more cartoony in that ride than in Pirates. Pirates, the whole idea was to look super realistic.
Yeah.
So this one podcast is called Ears Up with a Z by some guy named Jason Petros. It's like a Disney podcast, and he claims that there are 4 places still where there are real skeletons. He says 2 on the small islands just after the boat drops to the lower level. 1 is in the famous bed chamber mounted on the headboard. So that is to say, it's the guy with the magnifying glass, the pirate with the magnifying glass. He's a skeleton. He's fake now. He was real.
Oh.
Above him, though, is a skull and crossbones.
Yeah.
That skull, we'll do some pictures. That skull looks extremely real. There are a lot of rumors saying that is still a real skull to this day. It does look, if it's not a real skull, it looks really, really good. And the last one, according to Jason Petros at Ears Up, is in the jail scene, trapped under a flaming timber. 1,000,000% sure I can place that in my head right now.
Oh, okay. And that's a skeleton. That's the one where there's the dog with the keys in his mouth.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, and they're trying to give the dog meat to come and give him the keys.
Yeah.
So I guess there must be. That's in the scene where
I don't remember a skeleton.
The city is starting to burn. I think right.
Yeah.
The pirates have taken over. That's the whole idea. It's a story of pirates attacking New Orleans, taking over New Orleans, raping the women, and burning the town down. So it's again really wholesome, family friendly fun. Raping, literally the horrific raping and pillaging and murder of a civilized place by awful, awful, bloodthirsty murderers and thieves.
Yep.
It's great. So the bedchamber skull, though, is the one that the skull and crossbones. That's the one people say, no, we think that's for sure real. And that they say the reason is because that wasn't like stolen from China, or that wasn't from UCLA's collection. Oh. That was actually donated to Disney by quote unquote Imagineer who worked on the ride, and when he died, he said, "You can have it." I don't know that fits. I mean, I think that part of the ride has been there from day one. I believe that's not an addition. They have over the years. They have changed things around. They made the rape scenes a little less rapey, not much, a little bit. And they also added in 1997, they kind of softened it, because they were getting some flack, deservedly so. Well, and in 2006, they made it into Pirates of the Caribbean the movie and threw Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow in a few places and made it stupid. Like that part. It's awful.
You know what they did instead of the guy chasing the woman like he wants to rape her?
Well, they had the woman chasing the guy.
No, they always had that, but of course it was a fat woman chasing the guy.
Yeah.
No, they changed instead of just chasing a woman, he's like chasing her because she has food.
Oh,
so it's like he wants the food,
no one's buying
not
it.
the woman.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it is.
He's probably going to take both.
I could be wrong.
So it's some of the original stuff is actually darker than you might think, a little worse than you might. The original ride had this storyline where the women were being kidnapped and sold in a bride auction. Remember that?
Yeah.
I remember that too. That's gone now, I think.
Oh, it is?
If I'm reading this right, that's gone. We haven't been on it in quite a while.
No, I wouldn't be surprised if it's gone.
But that's gone.
But I remember that.
I think.
Okay.
And it also had some dialogue that was like you kind of implied a minute ago, was kind of fat shaming.
Yeah.
So was the heavy woman chasing the pirate was kind of fat shaming. The dialogue, I guess they had the auctioneer saying that they're selling her by the pound.
Yeah.
And do you remember that? You remember hearing that? I don't remember hearing that for some reason.
Yep.
And other women who are about to be sold to pirates are primping and preening, trying to look their best
because
to be
they're
purchased
ugly,
by,
if you recall,
by rapists, thieves, and murderers.
Yep.
So classy.
There's the one woman out there. She might even be actually on the auction block or whatever.
She's beautiful. Remember, there's one beautiful woman out there.
She's supposed to be, I think, like from a brothel or something.
Oh, is she? Okay,
yes.
Yeah. But she's attractive, and the not as attractive women behind her are
provocatively and all that kind of stuff, and she's like showing her leg. Mm-hmm. She's like playing it off. Mm-hmm. And then there's some
plainer,
not purposely women to look ugly.
Yeah.
Like they're all excited because they're finally going to get a man.
Exactly.
So gross, Walt Disney.
Very, very, very awful. And I guess the right after that part of the ride, again, I think it's gone now. A pirate has lost his woman that he just purchased because remember she's hiding in a barrel.
Yeah,
remember that? I remember that. I think that's gone. I'm not positive again.
Yes,
tell us if you know, because it's probably been 8-10 years since we've been on it, and at least. And he's heard originally to ask his friends for help, and he says, "quote I'd be willing to share. Meaning help me find her, and we can all rape her.
Yeah,
we can. I mean that's vile.
Yeah,
and
I mean." Historically accurate, maybe
for sure, but this is intentionally a very kid-friendly attempt at a ride. Of course, yo ho ho, pirate slice. For me, it says we kidnap and ravage and don't give a hoot. Ravage was it literally a word for rape?
Yeah,
that part is questionable. Some people think that line is still there, but you can't really hear it, like they've garbled it. Yeah. I'm not sure how that means. Why wouldn't they just re-record it? I don't know. I don't know either.
But same like with us taking our kids, and actually they've changed kids movies to be a little bit more risque for the adults taking the kids so that adults understand, the kids don't. I mean, we didn't understand that when we were kids. We saw it,
but I'm trying to think of when. Certainly early teens, I'll bet you.
Oh, sure, yes,
we did. But 8 years old now.
Well, dumb.
I'm trying to think of when.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But then on the other hand,
still they're making light of something that is pretty horrific.
And it's the repeated subliminal things that kids see that just it gets stuck in your head that
it does.
Apparently
even Walt Disney did have a little bit of a little bit of discomfort about that even in 1967.
Really?
One engineer, because I'm not going to call him a Imagineer, this is stupid as made up word ever. He said that he was, when they were designing this, before it went live, he was in the room and Walt came in and said, quote, "This will be all right, won't it?" Speaking of I think the auction, he was talking about the Buy the Women auction. He was kind of doubtful about at least the auction part. He was a little bit worried about that, but it stayed in and he kept it. And
I mean, I have great nostalgia for these things just because I grew up to them.
Always one of my favorite rides.
Yeah.
I love the French Quarter because I loved Haunted Mansion and I love Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, and I don't love it when they change things.
The Johnny Depp thing really is. That's not just a nostalgia they change things. It's just dumb. It's ham-handed. It's clearly just inserted in there because of the movie tie-in. It's embarrassing. Take it out. You're not helping. You're not selling tickets to the goddamn Pirates of the Caribbean movies and things like that by having Jack Sparrow be at the end and go, "Hey, have a good time," whatever. It's just dumb.
Great Johnny Depp.
That was a pretty good Johnny Depp, by the way.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's it. I have one more really famous, but I hesitate to use it because it wasn't public, but it was kind of it was private, but it's famous. It's the movie Poltergeist, where, according to Jo Beth Williams, throughout the filming of the horrific scene in the pool where they're surrounded and buried in skeletons, she said, we all assumed those were fake skeletons, rubber whatever skeletons. They did not know until after they were finished filming those were real human skeletons. I think for the same reason, because fake skeletons, even in the night, it was what, mid-late 80s when was Poltergeist, the original one? Late 80s maybe? It was to really, really, really look real and be in close-up. It was just very expensive. It was time-consuming, so they got much more cheap. They got real human skeletons.
Probably from UCLA.
Probably. You're welcome. Quote, this is Jo Beth Williams, "In my innocence and naivete, I assumed that these were not real skeletons. I assumed that they were prop skeletons made out of plastic or rubber. I found out, as did the whole crew, that they were using real skeletons because it's far too expensive to make fake skeletons out of rubber. And I think everybody got real creeped out by the idea of that." So I'm not sure when they found out. I mean, it sounds actually like it was during filming, doesn't it?
Yeah. Poltergeist was 1982.
Yeah. Oh, was it really? Okay, well, there you go. So there's only 15 years after Pirates of the Caribbean opened. So last thing is that in terms of buying human skeletons, it's still surprisingly murky, more murky than you might think. Here in the United States, there is the only federal law is for Native American remains. You cannot own or display Native American remains. They have to be left alone. When you find those, they have to be left alone. A build site and things like that. If you find any kind of remains of Native Americans, you got to leave them alone and usually have the tribe involved to give them a proper burial or leave them where they lie.
Yeah,
that's the only federal law. So otherwise, it's up to states, the individual 50 states in the U.S. Here's a quote. "Otherwise, whether you're able to sell or own human remains is decided by each individual state. At least 38 states have laws that should prevent the sale of human remains, but in reality, the laws are vague, confusing, and enforced at random," unquote. So there are probably people right now with skeletons in their closets, quite literally,
or under their
for
homes.
that reasons. But in terms of public display,
Disneyland
is the most famous one, except one. And that, well, maybe not. The one that Carrie's going to talk about in the next episode of Weird World is another really famous and amazing story of a skeleton on display. Mm-hmm. It sounds like a theme, doesn't it? Trust me, this is an interesting story.
Yeah.
You may have. Well, I'll save all the details for next week, but it really is a fascinating story.
But you have to listen to it.
Yes, you do.
Thanks for listening.
All right, see ya.
Bye.